What's going on? Welcome back to our exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, Bankrupt joined again by Fluff, Jake, and Nick.
What up, people? What's going on?
Baja Blast is the best Mountain Dew flavor. Don't at me.
Today, we're going over the starter deck, Vegito. It was the first deck release when it comes to the new set. And yeah, we're going to kind of go over these sets now, and starting with this particular starter deck. Oh yeah, there's buttons. Links, check them out down below. Let YouTube know you're here. I have to point out first, I just point out to the guys in the chat, art looks great. It looks really good, unless you want to talk about the way Vegeta's head is supposed to be angled to the side, but it looks like it's elongated backwards, because it looks like his head wants to be, the way his hair is and his forehead is, I feel like he should be looking up at the sky, but he's not. Just want to point out the art. It looks clean about 95% of this card, except for the forehead.
Where's his ass? He ain't got no ass.
This Goku is so strong that his arm covers up Vegeta's entire butt.
But Son Goku and Vegeta activate main once per turn. Look up top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 black sand card with energy cost 6 or less to your hand. Ditch your deck. We talked about this before. Any deck that can search for any key components is great, and also the fact that this can search for a super combo is also fantastic. The awakening is when your life is 4 or less, or if you have 2 or more energy, and you have a black My Future Z battle card in play, you draw 1 card, switch with one of your energies to active mode, and you go down to 6, which is pretty cool.
And what I will also say too is that is activate main, not an auto, so you're not dead on a turn 1 play.
Yeah, so good. Love turn 1 searches. On the Awakened side, auto was returned. If you have a final Kamehameha in your battle area, which we'll talk about that later, when you activate a Union skill, you draw 1 card. And then when auto was returned, when this card attacks, draw 1 card. So initially, you're drawing 2 cards for this card alone. And then activate main. Once returned, choose one of your black Vegito cards, and it gains 5,000 power for the turn. The only downside on that one is that if you give a Vegito plus 5k and you swing it and your opponent negates, well, it happens. I would rather it be battle speed, but maybe that's too good of an effect.
Only giving a 5k boost. It's not like we're giving a double strike or crit.
Yeah, it doesn't have the math really.
Yeah,
and it can hit the leader itself, so it'll always have a target.
Yeah.
6 out of 10.
Very, I don't like the. I don't like that it relies on having the Z battle card in play, or the Z extra card in play, because we may eventually see mechanics that remove Z extra cards from the field.
So I like that that's a separate auto in itself, so it doesn't hinder the card on its natural draw for attacks, but I do get what you're saying, though. So going into the Z battle cards, we're going to start with Mai, because she's the one you would play first. So it's a 1/1. Indicate in terms of 1 energy, 1 Z energy. It has barrier, so no deflect. So if it's coming into play, your opponent could potentially snipe it, depending on how early in the turn it is, or game it is. Z-Sack 1, Black Trunks Future Battle card. And the active main is if your leader is a black card with both Son Goku and Vegeta, or a black Vegito card, and you place 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, and you switch this card to rest mode, add up to 1 Vegito card with energy cost 6 or less from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck afterwards. Which I do like the ability to kind of put a card that's not important right in the moment into your deck, and then you just go into your deck and pull out a card you do need, and then you can shuffle your deck back up. So even if you put a card by your deck, you're not losing that card because it gets shuffled back into the deck, so it could potentially go back up to the top, be in the middle, or still stay at the bottom.
What does the Black Trunks do that gets stacked underneath it? So
Black Trunks naturally is a 2/2, which has deflect, which is nice. Permanent if you have a Black My Future Z battle card in play, this card gets plus 5,000 power. And keep in mind, Mai will not attack. It's a 4k card. It has barriers, so it's protected on most things, but in order to use its effect, you have to put Mai into rest mode, so it becomes a target from attacks later down the road, which could also be seen as a wasted attack for you. Or, like your opponent swinging into Mai, that's fine. I don't need Mai anymore. But he does get the 5k boost for Mai being in play. Then activate main for 1 black energy. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, you play this card from under Mai together with Trunks, and then play up to 1 each Son Goku and Vegeta card, both black, with energy cost of 1 from your drop in rest mode with their skills negated for the turn.
That's not bad. especially since it's a Vegito, there's probably some level of Patara in this deck.
Yep.
That's not a bad effect for good old Trunks to have there.
Yeah, the good thing about this card too is, or just it be all of it being in the Z deck, it's all guaranteed to see. So so you don't need to open with Vegito because you've got the Mai, and the only thing you really need to see would be the 1-drops to do the Union Fusion. But since they're coming from the drop, you can also do those later on in the game and still have ways to recur.
Well, and the leader has such a good generic search effect.
Yeah.
And the Mai searches out the Vegito, like I said before, but the leader has such a good generic search effect that over the course of 2 turns, you're probably going to see your 1-drop Gokus and Vegetas.
Yeah. And like just for 1 energy on this would be most likely your turn 2 play. But for 1 energy, you're playing the Trunks. It's a 20k swing, and then you're getting the engines that you need to play the Vegito, which we'll talk about that in a bit. Our next card, we're going to talk about the final Kamehameha, which is the Z extra card that if it's in play when you do Union skills, or if you play as Vegitos with a Union skill, you get to draw 1. So activate Battle Limit 1. If your battle card with an energy cost of 6 or more is attacking, and you place 1 card from your Z energy into your drop, and you remove this card from the game, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, send it to the owner's warp, then choose up to 1 card that's attacking, and it gets plus 10,000 power for the battle. Additionally, if you have 4 more energy, at the end of the battle, play up to 1 each of Son Goku and Vegeta cards, both black, with an energy cost of 1 from your drop and rest mode with their skills negated for the turn. That is fantastic, primarily because not only up to this point, you're getting free draws, which I do agree with Fluff that it may be a point where this cards like this will be sniped and will be, gone. Essentially, anything that like I think Zeno's the only thing I can think on top of my head that will actually remove everything from the battlefield. This is technically in the battlefield, so it'll get removed from cards like that effect.
There are a few cards, and very few, that will say select a card in your opponent's battle area and KO it or destroy it, place it in the drop area. I think there's a Kale that was in set 3 that specifies cards in battle area. So those cards too, but those cards are heavily outdated.
Yeah.
At this point.
I really like this card just because it doesn't really specify too much. It just says a battle card with an energy cost of 6 or more. So a lot of this is spoilers down the road, but a lot of the Z extra cards we've been seeing specify a certain card name or type or something along those lines. But this being more generic just lends to it being better in this deck, just because you do have more options than just selecting a Vegito. You have your Mass Saiyan Secret Rare, you have Cumber cards, you have Gogeta SS3 Thwarting the Dark Empire. You have a lot of options to pick with this card. So I think this card's really good. This
is a universally good black Z extra card for any black, pure black deck, yes. But for this deck particularly, as he uses effect, it does set you up for another Union because it plays in their Goku Vegeta at the end of the battle. And for the 1-drops, we have Son Goku Help has arrived. If your leader is black card with both Son Goku and Vegeta, or a black Vegito card. When this card is played, you play up to 1 Vegeta Help has arrived from your deck, or drop with its skills negated for the game. Shuffle your deck if you look through it. Most likely, this is very similar to Trunks Vegeta. And then auto add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, it gets plus 6,000 power for the battle. So it's a little bit weaker when it comes to the 1-drops take a life effects, but at the same time, it's just here to fish out the other card for you. So initially, you could play this turn 1 to play the Vegeta if you wanted to, because the Vegeta is played in active, it's not played in rest mode. And if your opponent has no way of dealing with it on their turn, like if you go first and they have no way of dealing with it on their turn 1, then you have everything you need all ready to go. You can combo it all, put it in your drop, combo both of them off, put them in your drops, and put 1 into your Z energy. So on your turn 2, you can play the Mai, and then go into the Trunks and replay those cards from your drop.
Yep.
And I think the Vegeta reads the exact same way, just instead of Vegeta Help has arrived, you just play up to 1 Son Goku Help has arrived from your deck, which skills negate for turn, and you shuffle your deck afterwards, and then has the exact same add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, this card gets plus 6,000 power. So these are just generic Trunks Vegetas from the Trunks Vegeta deck.
My only gripe about these two cards is that I feel like they should have gotten an 11K, because it's not like they're double strike. It's not like they're crit. I don't think it would have been terrible to go on ahead and make these guys 15K, especially in exchange for taking a life. Where it stands now, is it really worth it to pay a life on a 10K swing?
And in this case, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I really don't.
I think the best play is that you turn one, you play one of them. So it hits the board. It plays the other one on the board. They're both in active mode. And you just turn around, combo both of them off, put one in the drop, put the other one in Z energy. Play the Mai your next turn. Do your alternative awaken that way. And then you have both cards in your drop, so when you play Trunks, they come right back out.
I meant to say this on the leaders effect earlier when we were talking about it, where it's activate main. If you look at a lot of decks that are really popular right now, they require battle windows to combo to make Z energy. So the fact that you don't have to swing with your leader to get your draw means that's one less window of opportunity that your opponent has to combo to make Z energy for their Z battle cards play, which is usually tied to a deck's awakening mechanic. So these guys, you don't really want to put them in. And to me, I would almost want to pass turn, because you're searching with your leader, pass turn one with an energy open for a negate to keep your leader from your opponents from making Z energy.
Yeah. And one of the good things about that too is you'll always, even if they do get removed by some mechanic or skill, except unless you're playing against blue, but any other deck that will remove these one drops, they will still add value to you because you can always get them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And moving over to the last card that was kind of revealed for the set, I don't know if normally when it comes to star decks, we get a very, like, 5, maybe to 8 cards, I think sometimes are unique, and then the rest of them are just kind of filler. This was the last one that was kind of revealed for us. It is the 6-drop SSB Vegito Beyond Shining. Deflect, Union Patara, Limit 1, Son Goku, Vegeta, both black. And keep in mind, in combination with the leader and the Z extra card, you get to draw one off this Union Patara. And then activate main with return for 1 black energy. If you have a final Kamehameha in your battle area, you switch this card to active mode. I don't like that as much, but it is free to play this card. So at the same time, it's like paying 1 for a dual attacker.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Which isn't bad. Yeah.
And then the activate battle part, once return, if your black Vegito card is in battle, use up to 1 card from under this card and combo with skills and get it return, which I think is really good, because turn around, you just swing with it, activate battle for 1 of the swings, make it a 25k, you put that card into your Z energy for future plays. You know?
Works on your leader too.
Yeah, works on your leader as well. So if your opponent's swinging at your leader, not trying to clear this card out, you can just activate battle on this one to get yourself a free combo and put you up to 20, you know?
One thing that I found really interesting about this archetype, and I think it's future-proofing this archetype, is that the Vegito, the Goku, and the Vegeta are not Zeno characters.
Yep.
They are just regular characters. So you can't utilize the old Gogeta Zeno 1-drops in this deck for making your Vegito plays. And I did a search. There are no other regular black Vegito cards. This is the only one. Yeah, they're all Zeno.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that we're going to get support for this set, or for this starter deck in the set.
And with that being said, this is because it's primarily taking place in the Prison Planet arc, which is the current YouTube series that's going on for the Dragon Ball franchise. And all that Zeno stuff was obviously for Heroes. So that's a difference right there. Or for old school Heroes in the video game era that they played. But yeah, no, that's Son Goku, Vegeta, and Vegito. Hope you guys enjoyed. Guys, what do you guys think about this set so far? Or at least for the starter deck.
I like it. It's pretty good so far. I feel like it needs a little something more, which again, that's probably where the set's going to come into play. But these cards aren't alone. They're promising. It's a good start.
Yeah, I think it could use a couple strike skills here and there. Maybe double striker Union Patara or something, but Like Dick said, I think this is a good start to a deck.
Imagine the starter deck being a good start.
To a deck.
It, it looks consistent. It looks like what, the core bit here that is shown is a well-oiled engine. The thing is, I just don't think that engine is enough to climb the mountain of being relevant without, like Jake said, it needs strike skills. It needs something. It needs field control. It needs to be able to do something more than what is presented to us here.
So, with that being said, they're over to you in. And hey, we may get more cards for the starter deck they haven't revealed yet. This might be it. We don't really know. In most cases, this is it. But it'd be kind of weird if we get a starter deck that has, 3 unique cards and then 2 unique Z battle cards. I think we're going to get more. And when those get revealed, we'll talk about those at a later time. But thanks for tuning in. Keep in mind, there's buttons, links, check them out. And bye.